Welcome back to our PD channel. Namaskar to all viewers. Have a nice day. Friends, today in this video, I would like to share with you the latest updates on the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine. Friends, it has been gathered that Russia is running out of weapons and soldiers for its war with Ukraine. For the past 1 week, there has been fierce fighting between the two at all frontline border states and also in the territories occupied by Russia. Ukraine has almost stopped the Russian army advancement, which was very swift a couple of weeks ago. As on date, the latest updates of the offensive operations conducted by both the armies in each other's territories are: first, Russia's Kursk region. No advances of the army is reported. Second, the Ukrainian army advanced in northern Sumy Oblast captured by Russia. Friends, Oblast means an administrative division, a region or province. In Russian language, a region or province is called Oblast. Third, Ukraine's northern Kharkiv Oblast. No army advance is reported. Fourth, Luhansk Oblast. Russian objective is to capture the remainder of Luhansk. Fighting between both the armies is going on. Fifth, Russian forces fighting for Kupiansk, but no advances of the army. Sixth, Russian forces operations in the Borova direction with no confirmation of any advance. Russian forces operations in the Lyman direction with no progress of any advance. Donetsk Oblast, Russian objective to capture the entirety of Donetsk Oblast. Fighting is going on. Russian forces operations in Kherson directions with no progress of any advance. 10th, Russian forces operations in Zaporizhia Oblast. The objective is maintain frontline positions, secure rear areas against Ukrainian strikes and advances within the tube artillery range of Zaporizhia. Russia has conducted limited offensive operations in western Zaporizhia Oblast, but no advances of their forces are reported. Friends, as on date, Russian objectives for its air, missile and drone campaign are to target Ukrainian military, civilian infrastructure in the rear and on the front lines. In addition to it, Russia is also making efforts to increase its military presence in Belarus and to further integrate into the Russian favorable framework. Friends, Mr. Putin has asked his all forces for continuous pursuit of long-standing operational objectives during fighting with Ukrainian forces throughout the spring and summer season. This year, he has laid stress on army personnel's steadfast commitment for the same. Friends, the most important which you all must know. Mr. Putin and his other cabinet colleagues have proposed some policy decisions for the Kremlin to follow the larger interest of Russia in the long run. Friends, First, intensification for force generating efforts for generating a reserve force which Russia may be able to use in Ukraine and also NATO in the future. At present, Russia has limitations in its offensive capacity in Ukraine. Second, continuous promotion of rhetoric intended to weaken Ukrainian legitimacy and sovereignty, and it should be exhibited in all Russians for their staunch commitment to the complete destruction of Ukraine. Third, leveraging the Russian education system to inculcate children into mythos of the USSR's role in the Second World War and creates centralized state ideology that will carve out generations in Russia and Russian occupied Ukraine, which will help justify a protracted war in Ukraine and a future military conflict with the West. Fourth, under the new education system, Kremlin has proposed the changes in history books for classes from 5th standard to 11th standard for Russia as well as Russia occupied Ukraine territory. Friends, Mr. Putin wants to teach and instill the glory of former USSR into the minds of generations to come. His thoughts and actions seem to revive USSR. Friends, as already known, Russia is running a recruitment drive for mobilizing enough forces to establish reserves. It is not clear whether the reserve will be deployed for current combating operations against Ukraine or for any other specific priority sector. It has been learned that it is being built up for any eventuality of fighting with NATO countries. Friends, the USA has now started diverting its arms and ammunition to Israel for its help against the ongoing war with Iran. The USA's support for Ukraine, already in doubt under Mr. Trump, is set to decline further. This possible diversion has alarmed Ukraine's top brass. Under such circumstances, Ukraine will certainly lose its ability to withstand Russia's air raids and slow advance on the ground. Friends, a day ahead of NATO leaders summit in The Hague, NATO Secretary General Mr. Mark Rutte had said that the allies' support for Ukraine was unwavering and persistent. Ukraine and its other allies are due to deepen their defense cooperations by jointly producing long-range drones. In this summit, the matter of increasing the defense spending by the European countries from the current at around 2% to around 5% of GDP will be discussed. In view of Europeans' fear that Russia poses an increasingly direct threat to their security after the 2020 invasion of Ukraine by Russia. Friends, Mr. Zelensky, during his visit to the UK, very recently discussed the matter of Ukraine's defense and also new ways to pressure Russia to withdraw its troops from the front lines, abandoning the illegally occupied land at the eastern border. Hence, Mr. Zelensky has proceeded to Hague to meet with allies on the sidelines of NATO Defense Alliance meet to be held at Hague. Trump has said that he would probably meet with Zelensky at the summit. Zelensky want to talk to Mr. Trump about buying US weapons, including the Patriot missile defense system, and increasing pressure on Moscow through tougher sanctions. Friends, let's see how Ukraine will be helped by NATO countries alliance, more particularly the USA. Also, what kind of sanctions do the alliance decide against Russia? In view of the ceasefire between Iran and Israel brokered by Mr. Trump, Mr. Putin could expect Mr. Putin to do the same in Ukraine, either pull military support or apply pressure for a favorable peace deal for Moscow. Friends, hope the better sense will prevail with both the countries and ceasefire will take place. Friends, if you have liked this video, please like, share, and subscribe to it to keep me motivated to serve you better. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.